Thank you for being here with us every week. Thank you very much.
No, of course, and thank you to you, Ahmed, for everything that you do. And it's been a very exciting last few weeks for me since I've assumed the CEO role, and so I'm excited to dive in and share a few of the updates with you guys. A little bit more about the roadmap that we have in store for 2025. And it's a very exciting time. It not only at Aurum but in the industry in general. I think there's a lot of energy in this new digital asset space, and I think Aurum is poised to take huge advantage of this momentum. And we're really focused on making a fintech unicorn, as Mr. Ahmed always says. So thank you. If you don't mind, just yeah, put a 5 or a 10 or a 1 or whatever number you can in the chat if you can hear me, and I would appreciate that before I get going with my presentation. Um, I do have two sort of parts to my presentation today. First, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what 2025 holds for Aurum. So as I've been here now almost a month as the CEO, I've really gotten the opportunity to meet with all of the people, all of the back end people, all of the leaders, as many of them as I could, and it's really exciting energy that I'm sensing from the community, and so it's very exciting for me to be a part of this and to be able to share with you what the vision and what the roadmap is for 2025. So before I get going though with that, I'd like to mention to you that after that I have a small presentation on technology, and I think there's really some important things that I can share with you. But I think the name of my presentation today is the tech that we don't see. So what I mean by this is many people have seen our website, our landing page, have bought in the subscription, have invested, have become part of our community, part of our Aurum family, and have seen the possibly the Telegram mini app, possibly the back end, the portal where we're able to control our our downlines and our different networks. But I think what I would like to talk about today is the tech that we don't see. And so that will be the second part of my discussion today. But before I go into that and share my screen, I'd like to just talk to you a little bit about what the um, what the future looks like for Aurum, what 2025 has in store. We we believe that 2025 is going to be a flagship year for Aurum. We believe we're going to grow exponentially so that by the end of the year in November and December, the community is very different than it is today. Today we have less than 5,000 people, um, and we want to grow that into the hundreds of thousands and millions and millions of dollars in turnover. So I think the important thing for me to stress is that Aurum is not just a product. And so many people have probably tried our bots. So our AI bots, our EX bot, our flash loan product, these are all bot products that we've been working on for a long time. The team before I joined has been perfecting these, has been testing these, has been making sure that we have risk management in place to do the best that we can to protect people's wealth and to grow it. And that's really our focus here. But here at Aurum, we're not just scaling a single product. We're not interested in just growing the EX bot or the EX Pro or the Flash Loan or the Zeus bot, any of these uh, to a million users and leave it at that. We're really focused on expanding an ecosystem that empowers our users at every level. And so that's an important thing for us to remember. And it's an important thing for me to focus on in this call. So let me talk to you a little bit about what's coming. The first thing is the Aurum Neobank. Now, the Aurum Neobank is already parts of it are out there. You can see parts of it in the Telegram mini app. You can use portions of it. It's functional as we speak. But we're really focused on bringing a sleek, intuitive financial platform that lets users manage their digital assets and connect with real world payment options. So that's where the credit card comes in. And I need to make a quick note on the credit card. I know that everyone is waiting for the credit card, myself included. I am really dying to use this credit card, but I am asking everyone for a little bit more patience with the credit card. The the credit card provider has all of the information from the Aurum side, and the process is in the hands of the bank and of the centralized authorities that are allowing us to have this credit card. So while it's not ideal for us and we wanted to have it by now, again, I ask for patience because we're working very, very hard to make sure that the credit card comes out as soon as possible and works as well as it possibly can so that everyone can take advantage of this opportunity within the Aurum Neobank. So we're really focused on bridging the gap between crypto or digital assets and everyone's daily lives so that people can actually use their profits. They can use these funds when needed and compound them and continue to grow them when they don't need that cash flow to be spent. So that's the first thing that I would like to stress is that the neobank is coming along very well, and the card should be ready in a very short amount of time. The second thing that I'd like to focus on today, in my intro here, is the Aurum Exchange. Now, I've been working since the day I started. This was sort of my project that brought me over to Aurum, was helping with my background from Binance, with my background having been in crypto since 2017, uh, able to use that experience that I have to help to create the best possible exchange that we can. And so the Orem Exchange, what we're working really hard to deliver to the community is a proprietary trading platform that's built not only for speed but for usability. So it's very, very simple to use and very, very intuitive for all of our users. Now this is going to be at the core of our trading infrastructure, and it's going to not only support our bots, but it's going to support future products such as new pairs, potential signals, potential copy trading, and some other exciting features. So please stay tuned. We're working really hard on the Aurum Exchange, and we hope to have portions of it live by Antalya when we have our trip in the end of June. And so let me take this opportunity to pause from this and encourage everyone to do everything that they can to be in Antalya. This time in Antalya is going to be a very exciting time with the founders, with the corporate team, with the best leaders throughout the world. And it's not only going to be a time where we can relax, get to know one another, have some fun, and mess around, but it's going to be a time when we can really learn from one another the best practices in the industry, what the technology is capable of doing for us, and how it's capable of changing people's lives. And this to me is one of the most exciting things that I've seen. And so yeah, I would encourage everyone to do everything in their power to qualify for the Antalya trip. We did extend the deadline, so you have, I don't know, 3 more weeks or so, 3 or 4 more weeks until the 1st of June to be able to qualify for this trip. So please, 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 I want to meet each and every one of you guys there. I want to have a meal with you guys. I would like to talk with you guys and share my experiences and learn from you as well. So please take it upon yourselves to do everything that you can. It's going to be a really exciting time. The next thing that I'd like to mention, and in closing with this portion of the call, is the idea of an OTC desk. Now, this is something that a lot of exchanges, a lot of different institutions use to make trades off of the exchange. So if there's a need for an institutional or a high volume trade for a client, we're able to execute this in a very quick manner. First of all, it's almost instant, but we are also able to offer very tight spreads, no slippage, no liquidity loss, and discretion. So These are some of the things that we are working very hard on. The OTC desk should be live again right around the Antalya time, if not shortly thereafter. And it will give the opportunity for someone that wants to make a large trade from Bitcoin, let's say, into USDT to be able to put on the platform. We'll be able to facilitate that for our community and for our user base. So these are some exciting things that we're working on. I'm happy to announce that we're doing really well on the development, all of these things, and it won't be long before we are seeing new products added to the ecosystem, to the app, and to the family of products. So that's a little update that I wanted to give you about where we're at with the products, and really to get everyone excited about not only what's coming from a product standpoint, but also to get people excited about the opportunity to bring their leaders, to bring their community to the Antalya event and share with as many of the corporate team and the leaders as possible. So thank you very much for that. Now I'd like to see if I can share my screen here 1 second. And it says, Ahmed, that host disabled attendee screen sharing. So if you could please enable that or help me share the presentation, that would be great. And yeah, so while we're fixing the technical glitch here to be able to share the screen, it would be great to be able to tell you guys a little bit about what it is that we're making here. So let me go ahead and all right. Please let me know if you can see my screen by typing something into the chat. Possibly any number would do. Let's try that again. Let's give it another shot here, folks. Sorry about that. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, it would be great if you could confirm that you can see the see the screen. Okay, perfect. So as I mentioned, I would like to talk a little bit now about the unseen tech that makes a product scalable. And I think it's very important because a lot of us that are users of platforms, maybe like a Binance or a banking app, we see what the bank wants us to see, right? Or we see what Binance wants us to see, which is the front end, the user interface, or it's oftentimes called in the industry the UI. And the real power of a ecosystem or of a technology platform is really in the tech that we don't see. And I think that's something that we don't really talk about very often. And there's a couple key points that I would like to highlight uh, about that. So without further ado, let's dive into it. As mentioned, the true strength of a platform lies not in the in the visible part of it, but in the invisible part of it. So, the first part that I'd like to discuss here is the performance engine. So, this is the back end that makes the technology work. So, this involves algorithms, this involves systems, and these depend a lot more on things outside of just the code and how they're written. What these require is real time logic engines that adapt to the different frameworks. And so, some of the key components that I'd like to highlight here, the first one being a modular trading logic. So, what this means is that we don't have one single centralized way that the trades happen, but there's different modules that the trades all are connected together. And so this is based on asset behavior, on timing of trade, on different asset classes and asset types. And this is something that's very important because we have to separate these types of trades to be able to get the best yield out of them. I think the second thing that we want to talk about and think about here is the signal. In this world of TikTok and internet and web and TV and video, you know, as much as we can handle, we're getting plenty of information, but sometimes the segregating or or dividing the noise from the signal is a very difficult thing to do. And so what we've developed at Aurum are different types of sophisticated filtering systems that are able to filter these signals that are used to execute the trades based on different types of criteria. So some of these examples you can see here, liquidity is one of them. It's a very important one. If we want to buy an asset, but it's not available or the liquidity is not enough, then it's very difficult to execute the trade. The trend is another one. This can also be thought of as technical analysis or looking at the historical market and extrapolating and guessing from there what this trend is going to continue to do into the future. And I think the last one that I'd like to mention here is the volatility. We all know that the digital asset space can be very volatile. Bitcoin price can go up 3% in a few hours span and then dip 10%. And so really allowing us to have signals on this volatility and see how these volatilities have performed in historical trends is a very, very important thing for us to be able to have a very good handle on. And we've built the most advanced signal filtering systems that we can. Number three is the automated trade execution. So what this means is that we don't only initiate a trade and then hope for the best. There's all sorts of technology that's built into this. And so the first part is when we open the trade, which we can consider the entry point of the trade. But then we also have other very, very, very important parts of the technology that allow us to manage the risk. And I think that's something that, as I've been speaking with a lot of leaders over the last several weeks, we want to assure everyone that we have the most sophisticated risk management tools in place to be able to handle any sort of outcome. So the stop loss is a very important way that this is done. So if we have a trade and we expect it to go one way, but it goes the other way, how do we control the loss so that it's not catastrophic, so that it doesn't affect the people in our community? The other one is trailing stop losses and or trailing indicators, which can give us signals and signs as to what the how the trade is going to perform if we leave it open. And then I think we also need to talk about profit optimization. Oftentimes, when we have a trade, we're expecting to get, well, maybe 5 or 10% out of one trade. But if we're able to see, uh, it says screen sharing is not visible due to spotlight. If you can see the screen, would you please let us know and type I don't know, 2 or 3. Maybe we can try sharing again.
Don't worry. We share it. The team share it from our side. That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, this allows us to optimize the profit on it. So if we're able to get 15% out of a trade that we were focused on getting 5% out of, then we want to shift gears mid trade and go for profit optimization. And then the last one I'll mention real briefly is high frequency handling. As you know, there's different types of trading with bots. Some of these support thousands of trades per day. Um, at Aurum, we have a couple of different strategies. One of them is high frequency, but with some of our products, we actually have a limit on the trades so that we're not doing too many trades, but we're focused on the profitable trades. And so what all of this means to us as users, to us as consumers, to us as the community is that we have repeatable systems that are able to perform in real market conditions. Because as we all know, it's very difficult to predict the future. But if we have the right technology in place to help us, it makes it a lot easier for us to be successful in our trading. And so this is what we're focused on at Aurum, is a very scientific way to handle this. As I mentioned previously, risk management is an ever important topic for us because we take our job very seriously of managing people's money and of managing these trades to be able to get the best outcome. And so some of these advanced systems, have all sorts of mechanisms in place, as I mentioned, stop losses and trailing losses and profit optimization. But I think the drawdown control and the risk management is equally as important to be able to ensure that we're doing the best for our community. And so a couple of these things that I would like to stress is daily performance audits. So as you can imagine, we are very, very, very keen on understanding what our track record is. And so we track very, very closely down to the millisecond exactly how our performance has been, what our win-loss ratios are, and we are looking at this in real time. We also have automated drawdown control protocols which allow us to, in the case of a trade that has not gone the way that we want or has not given us the exact profit that we want, we're able to minimize our risk and cut our losses and move on to the next one. Now, we talked about volatility in the last slide, but this is a very, very important topic here. And so these filters will help us avoid exposure during crazy market times and also oftentimes avoid us even opening trades if the market is not correct. The volatility is too high. If there's a risk that we could have a bad trade, we have built in volatility based filters that allow us to manage this risk. The last one that I'd like to hit on real quickly, and you can read the rest of them yourselves, is the capital segmentation and allocation models. And so this is something that with our different product sets, we've been able to do really well. So the EX bot, for example, the flash loan, where you're able to use your current cryptos to be able to leverage to get these loans through Aave and use those loans in an instant manner to to make a profit. And so these are something that each one of our different types of products and each one of our different cryptos that we are trading has a different allocation model, and we're able to segment this via the capital that's involved in it. And at the end of the day, the objective here is to create transparent risk exposure so that everyone understands that we have the most advanced risk management tools in place, and this is done through minimizing emotional bias, which is one of the things that we as people, as traders, as persons, often suffer from. It's also good that we talk a little bit about the cloud infrastructure. And so, excuse me, the system uptime is a very important thing in a financial product. And so if we have a new person that comes in and puts in $1,000 of their life savings into this, and then the next time they try to go into the app, it's not working, it doesn't load, they get some sort of runtime error, we have a problem with our infrastructure. And so this is something that I take very seriously because I was involved in scaling Binance to the size that it is today. And so for us, security and uptime is not a feature, it's not a nice to have, it's part of our architecture, it's part of our DNA. And this is seen across all types of world class systems and is something that we've brought over to Aurum. And a couple of these things, and again, I don't want to read every word on this slide, but I'd like to just mention a couple of these. We are guaranteeing uptime based on our architecture of 99.9%. Now, this is to ensure uninterrupted access, to give the confidence to people, to give the tools to people so that they can use our product whenever they see fit. Um, data logic, data and logic isolation is also a very important part. We don't commingle everyone's data. The logic is not commingled for everyone. We have separate isolation per every user, per every session, and this is the best practice in the industry for how we can achieve this type of uptime and how we can achieve these security levels. The last thing that I'll mention, besides auto scaling, which is a very important topic, is this cloud native infrastructure concept. Now, what this means is that our product and our technology is built on a cloud native basis, so that we're able to scale very easily as the needs arise. And so what we have to do is we have to grow the community so that then we can add new servers, we can add new endpoints. If we have new geographies where people are coming in from Africa and from Philippines and from Colombia and Brazil, then we need to have the best, lowest latency and the best ping response time so that people can use these products in real time. Now, what this means for us as a platform and as users is that we're not gonna bend and fold under pressure. If a lot of people are using it at the same time, the platform will still be very resilient and very strong and be able to perform very well under pressure. And so these are some of the things that we're building into Aurum that have been built in from the beginning, and that we continue to work very hard to make sure that we have the cutting edge technology that's going to bring the most powerful tool set to our users. I guess the last slide is, why does anyone care about this? Like, what does this really mean for me as a person, as a leader trying to convince my family, my friends, the people around me to use this? And what this means is that professionals will be able to understand and know that what we're doing is important. So users see the front end, but those of us that are deeper into this business are able to feel the foundation on which Aurum has been built. And so this has a lot of very positive benefits for us. The first one is that we're able to scale. So today we have 5,000 users. Tomorrow we have 100,000. The next year we have 10 million. The same product is able to be used for all of these types of different community sizes, and it's able to be resilient. There's able to be control, not only by the user to control and to do the things that they want to do within the platform, but also by the corporate team and by those of us that are building the product, so that we can understand what's working, what's not, and get the best product out there. And at the end of the day, what we're focused on is giving a transparent product so that you guys can feel confident as you're building your networks, as you're building your teams, as you're recruiting leaders to work with you. And so, long story short, tech infrastructure is probably the most important thing that we don't see. It's the tech that is not seen, but is more important than the tech that we see, or equally as important. And this really comes down to one word that I think is the most important word, is trust. We are really focused on building something that can be grown to a scalable level and that has extremely long-term relevance in a changing digital economy. And so I'm very, very thankful for everyone on this call being a part of our community. I'm excited about what's coming. I'm excited about the products that are being built and are subsequently soon to be launched. And I'd be happy to handle any questions. But for now, I will turn it over to Mr. Ahmed. And thank you, everyone. And let me know how I can help. Please have a wonderful rest of your week, and hope to see everyone in Antalya. Thank you.